Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to episode 52 here on the Top 10 Tuesday series. Of course, I am your host, Mood616. And yes, episode 52, a whole year's worth of Top 10 Tuesday videos. Yes, another milestone, or whatever that means. But yeah, for episode 52, we are going to be talking about top 10 French horror films of all time. Personal favorite horror films of all time. Now, I want to throw out a little bit of disclaimers like I usually have for my top 10 lists. Again, these are just, personal favorites. I'm not saying that these are the 10 best films of all time, of course. But the major disclaimer I want to say is that, now we all know there's a big five, the Fab Five, the French extreme horror films that came out in like the early to mid 2000s. And basically what I did to make this list a little easier on myself, because, throwing in all five of those films would have felt a little just overkill, I guess. A little, cliche too. So basically what I did is I took my favorite one out of those five. So I only picked one out of the five. And also for the people that watch my channel regularly, they know that I'm a huge Gene Roland fan. And so what I did with Gene Roland, I only took one of his films for this list also, because I have like 15 or 16 of them, and it just would have made things a lot harder on me. So I decided to go with one and one only of those, and so it opened up the door to put a lot more other type of films into this list. So yeah, but without further ado, let's get into the top 10 of my favorite French horror films of all time. And of course, right off the top, some might say I'm cheating right away, but yeah, this is 7 Days. This is actually a French-Canadian film. I thought I'd, kind of throw this in there. I had to, it's still French, but this film is pretty nasty, man. It's basically about, a guy that's, that loses his daughter, gets, kidnapped and raped and murdered and stuff, and he, basically finds the person that is responsible for this, and takes matters into his own hands. So it's it's one of those type of stories. It's kind of like a daddy's little girl story, and things like that. But pretty nasty shit, man. It's really good. It's pretty intense and stuff. I like the way this movie was shot too. It's done really well. You feel the emotion. It's like any parent really would watching a film like this, but it's effective. It's really effective, and that's what really counts for a film like this. But yeah, awesome film. 7 Days. In at number 9 is a film called Shaitan. Just another word for Satan. Starring Vincent Cassel, or Cassel, I think is what it is. Yeah, this one's fucking outstanding, man. He does such a great job in this film as, the fucked up, I guess, kind of devil worshiper guy, Satan himself. Yeah, it's just about these girls that get invited over to this house. I believe this actually takes place on Christmas. Yeah, it does, on Christmas Eve. They go to this house, for what they think is going to be dinner, and, shit just kind of spirals out of control, and a bunch of shit happens. I don't want to give anything away if you haven't seen this one, but Shaitan, really awesome film, man. Really good stuff. Really enjoyed this one. Definitely check it out if you haven't. It's one I don't really hear a whole lot of people talk about, which is kind of a shame, because it's a good one. It's a really good one. That was number 9. Number 8 is Baby Blood. This is a really interesting film released by Anchor Bay. Old school Anchor Bay, yeah. Yeah, Baby Blood is basically about a girl that gets infected with some type of weird parasite thing. It actually crawls into her vagina, if I remember correctly. And it grows inside of her, and what this parasite does is it needs to feed off of like human blood and things like that. So it forces her and her baby that's growing inside of her, this weird kind of alien parasite baby thing, to go out on the road and kill. And so this movie gets really fucking nasty and bloody and shit. Fun flick, man. First time I watched this movie, it just blew my socks off. I couldn't fucking believe the premise of this film, but pretty good stuff. Should be able to find Baby Blood. I mean, it's out of print, but I think the prices on this one have gone down a little bit. So, but yeah, Baby Blood, check it out. Really, really good stuff. That was number 8. Number 7 is, of course, Irreversible, with Monica Bellucci and Vincent Cassel again in this one. Everybody knows about this movie, but if you don't, it's basically, this movie is, well, it's interesting because it's kind of backwards. It starts out with a killing, then it basically replays this entire day in the life of this couple. and you know what happens and stuff. And you know, there's some really nasty shit. There's a really brutal rape scene in this film that's really, really uncomfortable to watch and just nasty and vicious. But it's a really well executed film. I really like the premise of this film and the way they did it, being in reverse and stuff. It's just effective. It's emotional. It's just shot well. It's got good performances and stuff. 2 thumbs up by Ebert and Roper. It's insane that they would actually give a film like this, but you know, it deserves it. It's a good film. So if you've never seen this one, definitely give it a shot. It's well worth owning, like all these films, but pretty nasty shit though. Number 6 is Il Mortel. I talked about this one in a Best of the Blind Buy video a long time ago by Alain Robbe-Jourlet. This is from, I believe, 1963, one of his earliest films, I believe. You know, this one a lot of people probably wouldn't consider full-blown horror, but in my opinion, it's very David Lynchy. This is obviously predates David Lynch films by quite a few years. And I have a feeling David Lynch was very influenced maybe by Alain Robbe-Jourlet, maybe his style and just the oddness of his films. But it's basically about this guy that he's in this city, I can't remember the city that he's in, he was in Greece or something like that. Anyways, he comes across this girl. And, you know, he starts to kind of fall for her and things like that, and then she disappears. And he's trying to find her the whole film, and just all these weird and bizarre things keep happening, and it's just a really, really strange film. It feels like a nightmare. It's scary because, you know, you kind of get trapped in this, you know, this odd realm that Robbe-Jourlet has created, and you can't really get out of it. It's a really weird film. You got to see it. I really enjoy this though. It's just fantastically executed. It's beautiful and it's odd and it's very, you know, like I said, if I had to compare it to something, it'd be like a David Lynch film. But Il Mortel, awesome stuff. Definitely give that one a shot. And that was number 6. And then number 5 is, which I'm just going to put both these because I grabbed both these because I actually like the cover art on this one better, is Livid or Livide, however you want to say it. This edition right here is actually a French edition, so there's no English subtitles on it. I actually got this sent by accident, so I kept it because it has a nice slipcover, but I like the cover art on it too. It's really nice. But yeah, here's the UK. I'd love to get the Blu-ray of this film, but it's basically about, you know, if you've never seen this one, it's about this girl that takes this job looking after this old lady that's bedridden. She, you know, she's like on her deathbed kind of thing, and she apparently, you know, is sitting on a, you know, some wealth. She's got a bunch of jewels and gold and stuff like that somewhere in the house apparently. And so her and her boyfriend, you know, after the job ends one day, they break into the house to, you know, find this, you know, these riches and stuff, and then shit starts going down, of course. Really, really creepy film, really well executed. It's fucking creepy and good, man. It's just a really, really good film. Yeah, Twisted Nightmare, and that's what it feels like. It's dark, it's just nasty, and it's a really cool film. Yeah, just awesome, man. Of course, directed by Julian Maury and Alexander Bustilano. I hate these names, man. I'm so bad with them. But yeah, Livid, awesome stuff. If you've never seen it, check it out. Good stuff. That was number 5. Number 4 is the classic Diabolique. From 1955. The movie that actually inspired, oh man, his name slips my mind. I think the author of Psycho to, you know, write the book and stuff, and of course this was also an inspiration for Hitchcock, I believe, also to make the movie and stuff. But it's basically about a wife, and you know, this wife is married to this guy that runs this all-male boarding school, you know, and she's very, very not happy with her life because the guy that runs, her husband's just a total fucking asshole. He's got a mistress, and everyone knows about it, and the mistress and the wife, they even, you know, hang out kind of and stuff. It's kind of weird. Even for the 50s, the concept is really, really out there. I know there's obviously a little bit of a barrier between, you know, American and, you know, European cultures and stuff there, but yeah, it's really odd when you watch it because, you know, these two are kind of working together. Anyways, they plan the murder of the husband, and yeah, so that's all I'll say about this one if you've never seen this movie. Really awesome, well executed. Has one of the creepiest scenes in a bathtub. Actually, the first part of that bathtub scene is really nasty shit. But Diabolique is just fucking awesome. You know, it runs almost 2 hours. It does not feel like that at all. It flies by. It's really well done. Great performances. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's a great film. Diabolique. That was number 4. Number 3 is Eyes Without a Face. This is if you don't know the premise of this one, it's basically just about a doctor that wants to fix his daughter's kind of disfigured and mutated face with some extreme measures and stuff like that. Yeah, another 1960, pretty awesome stuff. But yeah, you know, I have to say, man, the facelifting scene in this film still holds up today. It's really well done. It just looks awesome. It's really impressive for 1960. Really, really good stuff, but just an amazingly shot, well acted, just awesome film. I couldn't say enough good things about this one. It's really well done. Awesome flick. And the Blu-ray looks fantastic on this too. So, Eyes Without a Face from Criterion. Both these actually Criterion releases. And number 2 is Gene Roland's The Iron Rose. I've said this a million times. I love this movie. I absolutely love this film. I love the setting of it. It's all in a graveyard. It's basically about this couple. They go to this graveyard and some shit starts going down and more shit goes down. And that's all I'll say about that. You know, that's basically, you know, the short and long of it right there. But it's just creepy, man. It's really, really creepy and atmospheric and just weird and odd. And it's just, I love this movie. I know I've heard some people say they didn't really care for it too much, but I'm just a really, really big fan of this one. But first authentic masterpiece. Yeah, I love this film. You know, if you like films set in, you know, graveyards and stuff, this is definitely one for you. It's a trip, man. It's a really weird film. So, Gene Roland, Iron Rose. And of course, in at number 1 is Inside. And like I said, I was only going to pick one of the Fab Five. Inside is my favorite one out of the 5, so I had to go with it. I put this at number 1 because this movie every time I watch it, it never ceases to amaze me how mind-blowing this movie is with the gore and just, you know, the whole premise of it is just crazy, man. It's fucking nasty. It's just got such a great ending too. Awesome stuff. It's basically about a couple that gets in a car accident. The wife survives, and you know, she's pregnant. The husband dies. I think this one actually set on Christmas also, come to think of it. Yeah, it is Christmas Eve. Wow, interesting. 2 films. And you know, Christmas Eve rolls around, and you know, someone starts knocking at the door and starts harassing her. So it's kind of like a home invasion film if you've never seen it before. And it just turns ugly and nasty. Really, really vicious, well executed, creepy, well shot film. Really, really well shot film. There's some scenes in this film that still give me the chills when I see this. And yeah, Inside, just fucking awesome. So, but yeah, that's going to do it for the top 10. Now, like I said, this list was super, super hard. I left off all the other Fab 5 films, of course, like Martyrs and High Tension and Them and Frontiers. You know, all the Gene Roland films, Living Dead Girls, I love that film, Grapes of Death. Of course, I know a lot of people love The Horde. That's a pretty good film. The ending of that movie pisses me off, though, I won't lie. Mutants is a really, really amazing film that I actually had on this top 10 list at first. I ended up cutting it last minute, and, you know, that's just the way it goes. Bazemoy, or however you pronounce it. It's a good film. It's not up 10 worthy. High Lane was really good. Don't Deliver Us from Evil is another one that I was thinking about putting in here. I really enjoy that film. It's got another fucking amazing ending. The Pack. I mean, the list just goes on and on of films that I had to cut from this list. But yeah, you know, French films. But to round out the top 10, 7 Days, Chiton, Baby Blood, Irreversible, Il Mortel, Livid, Diabolique, Eyes Without a Face, Iron Rose, and of course, Inside. Yeah! And that is going to do it for this Top 10 Tuesday. Yeah, this list actually took me all day to compile. I was trying to figure out how I was going to do this, and that's what I came up with. So I had to, you know, kind of cut things, and, you know, tough one to make, but hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. Of course, like I always say, make sure to sub everyone I do this series with. The links will be down below. So head over to the channels, check them out, subscribe if you like what you see, watch the videos, and I will check you guys next week in week 53. Peace!